Hello, my name is Rich Howard, owner of Architectural Builder Supply. This video is to bring you a closer look at the RCI number S6514 series electric strike. S6514, this is the 32D stainless steel version that I have here. And here's the body. This is just exactly what it looks like when it comes out of the box. Not to be intimidated by this is real simple stuff. You're going to have the wiring harness here, and it's already plugged into the 24-volt wiring harness, and that's obvious what has to happen there, the red and black wires. If you're running 12-volt, you'll use the included optional 12-volt wiring harness. It's just simple. You remove this one and insert the 12 volts. This includes that common faceplate for 4 7/8 frame preparation, so it's going to look just like that, which is probably what you're accustomed to seeing. There'll be 2 small screws included for attaching the faceplate down to the body. This is a commercial duty standard profile, meaning it's that common electric strike that you're going to see in hollow metal frames. Field selectable in terms of its function. This can be field selectable between fail secure, which they call FL, fail locked, meaning that when the power is cut, it's locked. Very common. If you've got an exterior door in a building and your employees will come with a card or a keypad, you'll probably want that function so that when the power's off, it's locked, and only activating the input device will temporarily unlock this. Or, should you need it to be always unlocked when the power is out or when the power is cut, you'll simply rotate. There's a little indicator there. It's right now it's towards FL. If you want it to fail unlocked, which would be fail safe, you're going to take your screwdriver, you're going to rotate that down so that the indicator is pointed towards the fail safe or fail unlocked, and now when the power is cut, it's simply unlocked. It's that simple. Okay. This is going to be able to handle either of those instances. Fail secure is very common, obviously. If you have an exterior door in a building and the power goes out, which is not uncommon, you'll want your door locked. Surely is what the case would be. Now, this you're going to be able to run. It's also field selectable in terms of your 12 or 24 volt. It will also handle 12 through 24 volt AC as well. So the standard wiring harness that comes applied, that's going to be your 24 volt DC, and that's probably the most common. DC is silent operation, there'll be no buzzing, that's common. If you're going to run 12 volt DC or 12 through 24 volt AC, you'll use the other wiring harness, and in that instance you are going to get, of course, a buzzing sound if you're running it on AC, which is common. Fail secure. When you hear the buzz, it's temporarily energized, meaning it's unlocked. That's a typical application as well. The unit also has the ability to adjust horizontally, which is nice. This screw here and this screw here, you can loosen that and physically move the solenoid assembly in and out to account for the exact location into which the latch bolt is engaging in the keeper. So here's that scenario. A client will call and say, my electric strike is intermittent, it doesn't work. Well, when you open the door and you fire the energize and de-energize, is it always working? Yes, it always works in that case. It's just when the door is closed, sometimes it doesn't let go. It doesn't unlock the door. Well, often what you'll find in that application is a misinstallation where the latch bolt of the lock and its deadlocking tab are both getting into the keeper. You don't want that. You want the deadlocking tab to not be captured in the keeper. I'm going to pause the video and go get a latch bolt. Okay, so I have a latch bolt. Here's 2. This one does not have that deadlocking latch tab as indicated here. So if you have a latch bolt like this, technically it's the wrong latch bolt. So just to show that to you. Here's the deadlocking tab. that is not permitted to go inside the keeper. It must be retracted, and only the latch bolt, this portion, is to go in the keeper. So that goes in, but in a proper installation, when that is held retracted, that cannot go in. And that's how these are supposed to work. Okay? So when a client calls and says it jams, it sticks, it doesn't work all the time, that's because they're trying to get more stuck in there than there should be. Where the proper installation is going to look like that, where it's held retracted. And I've got the entire latch bolt inside of there. Now what's nice about this 6514 is that it is capable of handling a 3/4 inch latch bolt. So a 1/2 inch latch bolt will be your typical cylindrical lock. You might have a 5/8 projection if you get into a different type of lock, or maybe some storefront hardware, and you'll certainly have a 3/4 inch projection if you have a mortise lock, and this unit can handle a mortise lock as well, so it makes it very versatile in that regard. The extended description below this video goes on to talk about modular plug-in connectors. We've already discussed that. Manufactured to grade 1 standards. It has gotten to and exceeded 1 million cycles. That makes it grade 1. Dynamic forces tested to 70 pounds. That's significant for a piece of hardware. 3-year warranty. Modular faceplate design for a variety of frame types and cutouts. This is the hollow metal 4 7/8 prep. You can get different sizes if you're doing wood, aluminum, things of that nature. If you are replacing something else with this, you'll want to look at all of the available faceplates that can be achieved. You might find one that's going to be more suitable to your circumstances. There is a link below this video to a document called Electric Product Literature is the document. And you get down into the back side or the last page of that, and you'll see, or last couple of pages, you'll see the other faceplates that will just simply bolt on. The last pages 2, 3, and 4 really will draw attention to that. So that's very handy and helpful to know about that. The 32D is not only the finish, but it's the base material as well. This item is stainless steel material with a satin finish. The rest of the contents of the package, the body, the 12-volt DC or the AC wiring module harness, the faceplate, the 2 screws I showed you. It will also have a dress plate or a trim plate. This is going to be for when you cut the face of the hollow metal frame. Actually, it is visually emphasized here to allow you to dress that off. You're going to want to have that plate fit there because it will give a nice clean look. Also, it will help visually, but I've seen lots of strike preps where that cut is wavy. It looks terrible. That exposed steel on the edge will start to rust. It's steel. This will cover it up. You'll get this fit into the opening and then literally bend these tabs over to keep it nice, tight, and snug. So get that placed in there first. Before you put it on permanently, check the fitting after you've cut the frame. We'll talk about that in a moment. You'll get this trim plate. You're going to get the installation instructions, which I've kind of showed. You're going to get a wire selection gauge chart. Incredibly important to follow these instructions in terms of how far away you are from the power source to the electric strike. I've had a client call on a Saturday. This is a real story. About 3:30. I've got company arriving at 5. The job is 30 miles away one way. Says the electric strike doesn't work. The employees, the 3rd or 2nd shift, and therefore the 3rd shift, and it's a Saturday, can't get into the building. They can't access their workspace. Saturday, 3:30. Cancel plans, drive the 30 miles, get to the job site, take the strike apart. I'm operating it, I'm looking at it. What's real funny is that this model of strike had two operating parts that allowed the keeper to open. The bottom was working just fine, but the top keeper wasn't working. So I'm thinking something's got to do with gravity. And then it dawned on me. How far away is the power source? The power source, I kid you not, was at least 500 feet away. This building was gargantuan. The power source and these tiny bell wires ran all the way down the building, was simply not getting the amount of proper electrical input to the strike. Once that problem was rectified, they basically moved the power supply to within 30 feet. It has worked every day of the week for 15 years. So follow those guidelines for proper wire gauge. You've got to be bringing the proper voltage, the proper amp to the strike to get it to work. Test that before you wire, or test it before you leave for the weekend. Okay, so you've got that part. You're also going to get a mounting kit, which is super nice. A lot of the installation instructions, quite frankly, of the 6 pages, 4 of them apply to installing the strike. You're going to get mounting tabs, and if you're remotely familiar with how these work, you're going to cut the prep in the frame, you'll drill a hole, countersink it, you're going to bolt your plates like this. Your strike will mount to the plates themselves, giving you a no-weld sort of installation. You're going to get machine screws for all of that. They're going to give you a bunch of shims, which are nice to have. And even give you a couple of wood screws if you're installing this in a wood frame. Now, regarding those extra 4 pages of installation instructions, they're going to give you all the dimensional properties based on the strike, and this set of installation instructions is for the 6 series, so there's lots of strikes in the 6 series from RCI. This is the 6514. You'll go right to that section. It'll give you all the dimensional properties. You know it's 4 7/8 tall, and it'll give you the rest of how far to cut back the face of this hollow metal frame, how tall, how wide. But the crucial thing, if you're installing it into a frame where you're adding an electric strike, adding one where there is no strike prep already existing, you're going to want to pay special attention to its references of the X dimension. Now, the X dimension basically is talking about where the center line of the latch bolt is, and therefore the center line of the strike, such that you install it in the proper lateral center line so that your latch bolt engages properly and prevents the deadlocking tab of sneaking in behind the keeper. It's also going to give you, talking about mortise lock, since this will handle a mortise lock, how to locate it so that your deadlocking tab, which is generally above, maybe below the lock body, doesn't sneak into there, and it's going to basically reside in some space above or below the keeper itself. So that's the only part of it that you really need to study if you're doing a scratch brand new installation. If you're doing one where you've got a hollow metal frame already, you really just have to cut the face of the frame, and that lateral, that horizontal adjustment is going to bring you home in terms of proper operation. Because of all of these features, the mounting kit included, the dress plate included, the multiple fail-safe, fail-secure, field selectable, the fact that you can laterally adjust it, the overwhelming amount of installation instructions really make this, and the fact that it's grade 1, make the RCI S6514 such a go-to strike. It is the one that you just can install and know is going to work. You can install it in an application where the client wants something good, robust, and reliable. Doesn't want to spend a lot of money, and you want something that you're going to walk up to the job, have everything you need in the box, with the exception of your tools, and you'll be able to make this happen. I've got these installed. If I'm taking my time, I can be front to back in 45 minutes. When you do it enough, or even less, when you do it enough, you're just ready to go. This RCI product is phenomenal for that, and quite frankly, locksmiths need to be able to keep it moving and do so in such a way that their clients' security is maintained and probably improved. So I'm partial to the RCI product, and it's because of those reasons. Other documents down below this video, electric strike cross-reference chart, very handy. Lots of other companies that are in there with their part numbers. You can see where the S6514 falls. Electrical strike specifications, that's handy because it will give you some technical information in an overall sort of perspective of what functions you can get on specific RCI models. The literature, as I had mentioned before, etc. you have any questions on the RCI 6514 electric strike or any other RCI product, please feel free to reach out to us. Admittedly, this video is incredibly long-winded. We didn't begin to touch on the actual installation aspect. If you want to review that at the time of purchase of the strike to make sure that you understand how to install it, feel free to reach out to us. My name is Rich Howard. Any questions on this or any other RCI product, please feel free to reach out to us. Thank you.